Making its debut in the season 11 credits, Contact is told from the perspective of Locus. The song is all about Locus remembering his past and contemplating it all. Now, the thing about Contact is that there's two versions, both relevant to the time that they take place. The original Contact aired after season 11 and the redux version after season 13. So if you've watched the show, you'd know that season 11 Locus and post-season 13 Locus are two different people. In this video, I'm going to be playing the redux version as the lyrics are easier to understand and make out. The contrast between the redux and the original, however, is a difference of 2 lines, and that's it. So when I reach that point in the song, I will play the original and explain that. Then, after everything, I'll play the redux line that was changed and explain that and why it's different.
We've been here so long, still I remember the rainy September contact.
As you probably could have guessed from the title of the song, you're going to be hearing the word contact a lot. As we know, Locus was a soldier. He wasn't a man. He wasn't anything other than someone who took orders and carried them through. The word contact is used so many times in this song to show how many times Locus has had to transmit that he's made contact with a target. In this song as well, Locus will use words like we, our, and us. He does this primarily when referring to Felix. So in the line saying that we've been here for so long, but he still remembers that September, I believe that is when Locus and Felix met. Despite how long they've been doing this, despite how long they've known each other, Locus still remembers the day he and Felix became a team.
2, 4, 1, 10, 2, 4, 1, 10. Am I transmitting? Is anyone listening? Contact.
It's widely debated as to the true meaning of what the numbers stand for. Some believe it stands for the number of characters. 2 villains, 4 lieutenants, 1 AI, and 10 reds and blues. Others believe it's a color hex value. 024110's color is a dark green, very similar to Locus's color scheme. And finally, the others believe it is UNSC code for position compromised. I could find no evidence that that is code for what people say it means, but I do believe it is the nature in which the numbers are being used. Saying the numbers, asking if anyone can hear you, saying that you've made contact. I do believe the numbers imply that their position has been compromised. This could have been at any moment in time when Locus was a soldier, but judging by the fact that he is using code, it would seem that it was perhaps during his time in the UNSC. We know of only one moment with Locus during this time, and that's when he and Felix had to fight in one of the worst battles in UNSC history, during the Great War. That's where he and Felix formed their bond. They had to fight through any and all enemies. So this verse seems like it could have been them calling for anyone, any sort of backup, because they've made contact with the enemy.
We are green and gray. The longness of December, still I remember contact.
The interesting thing about this verse is that Locus says we are green and gray. Those 2 colors are the color scheme of Locus's armor. Felix's armor is orange and gray. Throughout the song, whenever Locus refers to anyone else, it's always Felix. But this time, it doesn't make sense. That's why in this verse, I do believe he is referring to himself. A past version of himself, perhaps. Locus says how he longs for semper. Semper is a Latin term for always, typically used as meaning always faithful and always loyal. Locus saying that he longs for it means that he has this need or desire to practically take orders. He's like a cool Simmons, but Locus remembers the days in which he was given orders, and sometimes he needs them for his character throughout the history of the show. It was true, he needed orders.
2, 4, 1, 10, 2, 4, 1, 10. Am I still willing to foot all this billing contact?
This is around the first instance in which Locus doubts himself. To foot the bill is an expression. It essentially means taking responsibility. So Locus is beginning to think to himself, am I willing to take responsibility for everything that I've done? As said, Locus is a soldier. If he is given an order, he follows through with it no matter what it may be. But now, he begins to think to himself, am I willing to deal with it all? His commanding officer also saw him as a weapon. Take orders, do as you're told. That is your purpose. For the longest time, Locus did just that. But now, is he still willing to do so? This verse obviously was from the original version, not the redux we've been listening to. The first two lines are pretty self-explanatory. The metal horses and riding them simply refer to their vehicles. They're modern-day horses, just riding around together, killing people, doing missions. The interesting line here is, one of us won't be forgotten, the other one's wrong. Which one applies to which? One of us won't be forgotten refers to Felix. Locus believes Felix is ahead of the game. He's smarter, more clever, and willing to do anything. He's forward-thinking, and Locus, I believe, admired that about Felix. The other one's wrong, Locus is referring to himself. Locus's inner conflict and whether or not he can do all this makes him doubt himself. It makes him wrong. Being conflicted on which side to stand on makes him stand alone, and that's not where he needs to be. Locus has thought for so long that as long as he follows orders, he will become this great weapon and everyone will know who he is. He will go down in history as this great warrior so long as he just follows orders. That's why he thinks Felix's name won't be forgotten. He doesn't need anyone to tell him what to do. Felix thinks for himself and acts for himself. So Locus, who has spent his entire life doing as people told him, now realizes someone has made it just as far, if not further than me, by doing the exact opposite. He admired Felix for it and questions himself.
When I think of you, names in the sky, 90 feet high, contact.
Going back to how Locus thought highly of Felix, I believe this verse accentuates that. Locus nearly relied on Felix. He was godlike to him. Hence why this verse talks about him being in the sky. This verse is mainly just used to boost Felix's ego and show how Locus used to see him. This next verse is the one that was changed from the original, and it's the only change in the entire Redux song.
Riding on a shiny metal horses, singing a rider song. One of us will be forgotten, the other will be wrong.
The first half of this verse remained the same, obviously. However, the final two lines didn't. Last time it said, one of us won't be forgotten, the other one's wrong. This time it said, one of us will be forgotten, the other one will be wrong. At first glance, the lyrics may seem like Locus has simply just changed his mind on Felix. Instead of saying he won't be forgotten, he's now saying that he'll fade into obscurity. However, this time around, it's the exact opposite. The roles have been reversed. Last time, Locus was wrong because of his conflictions in morality versus his want of being a soldier. But now Locus doesn't think that way anymore. He's no longer conflicted. He's picked where he's wanted to be. Felix is the one who is wrong. Chasing money and power and greed is wrong. Locus is the one who believes he will be forgotten. He's done so much wrong, he's killed so many innocent that people won't remember a Locus who helped save a planet. Rather, at best, he'll be remembered as a killer and a murderer. He will be forgotten in time with the rest of them. No one will speak of the great warrior he once wished to have become. He's just another face in the crowd. And that's where Locus leaves at season 13. That is the final mindset Locus leaves off on. It wasn't an optimistic one. He thinks back as to his history, all the missions he was sent on, all the people he's killed. He remembers admiring Felix, but ultimately, he was a conflicted man. Never knew if what he was doing was right. That's why he set off by himself, to figure out how to right the wrongs he's done. So there you have it, that was the meaning and breakdown of Contact. I hope you liked the video. If you did, be sure to like the video and subscribe if you're interested in more content like this. Consider becoming a sponsor over on Patreon, get access to all the content early, and it really does help the channel grow. Be sure to follow me on all my social medias, and I'll see you in the next video.